Back with our Chief Geologist, Adam Jones, this morning. Adam, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, good, Adam. Good to see you. The 2024 campaign at Lolworth are well underway now. Give us a bit of a snapshot as to what you're up to, what you've seen.
Yeah, so um, we've got four people up here at the moment, including myself, and we're all set up camp remotely out here. And yeah, so we've just been focusing on following up last year's prospects at Butterfly Creek, Reedy Creek, and also we're going to have a look at the Novum and Tantalum as well. So I've just returned from Blue Mountain and I've come further north up to Lolworth here recently, a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, so we're just doing a bit more strategic, closer space stream sampling, and we're actually relying on the visible gold actually just to get a quick turnaround. And what we actually have done is we've actually traced the gold up to certain, like really discrete areas now, which we're focusing on. And so while my time is here, I've been mapping and rock chipping and actually trying to, see if there's any signs of the source of where that's coming from. And yeah, we've got a couple of field guys at the moment. They're doing some really tight space soil sampling over a lot of these areas above our stream sampling. So yeah, we found a couple of interesting old workings. Even in the time we've been prospecting and looking, we've even found more gold nuggets and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so we've been focused on gold at the moment. Yeah, and like I said, that probably in the next couple of weeks I'll be doing a bit of the Novum and Tantalum, which is a Oakey Creek, which is on our northern sort of northeastern side of Lolworth. Yeah, so yeah, the only other probably significant news would be is that we're actually planning on doing some trenching out here at Lolworth. So I've arranged it and we've got permission to do just some small scale exploration trenching, mostly across the top of these soil anomalies, and discrete veins we've actually been finding, which, a lot of them are actually getting buried underneath the soil. So, you just can't quite, like look at them properly and look at the outcrops properly. So I've arranged to get a small excavator in and we're going to be uncovering some of that over the next week and see if we can get some more decent sampling.
And so, as a result of this mapping, sampling, and trenching, what's the overall objective of this activity?
Yeah, so the overall objective is we've got to get a drill rig on the ground. Probably as a priority at the moment, an area we call Gorge Creek West, um, and and another prospect I've been looking at recently, which is actually an old prospect from 30 years ago, is called Uncle Terry's. Seen some juicy uh, galena and stuff like that in some of the outcrop there. So awaiting results. All those rock chips are actually currently in the laboratory. So next few weeks, we have some results from that. And so these are the type of areas that we're focusing on for, just to like short term to get, drill targets in ASAP.
So, you see, I mean, it is early days, but you see potential here for some decent drill targets within these areas.
Usually at this time of year, there's no rain at all. But so one of the biggest problems I've found since we've been here is, the height of the grass here. It's up to 6 foot high in places. So seeing outcrop has been pretty hard. But and so I've had my days here where I've been a bit disheartened, and I think bloody hell, this is going to be hard, hard and whatever. But all of a sudden, there's been certain days where all of a sudden you see a nice juicy outcrop somewhere, or you see a fragment of some mineralized quartz float on the ground, and all of a sudden, your momentum starts picking up again, and so it all comes down to laboratory results. So we're just making sure that while we're here and in the time we have got before the end of the year, before the wet season again, is that trying to get as much sampling data as we can to have some defined drill targets.
And just to be clear for our investors, what approach or what different approach are you taking this year compared to the campaign in 2023?
We're really focusing on just doing soils. We're on the ridge lines. While I'm here, we're mapping, um, and yeah, frankly, we've actually narrowed down where the source of the gold should be within hundreds of meters on these hilltops. So that's probably the biggest difference. So we're really now we're now, I can see now we're getting to the critical stage to seeing, well, what is actually here? Where is it actually coming from? What does it actually look like on the ground? and and now we're starting to talk about what's it like for drilling access and all that sort of stuff. So, and even on drilling access, one of the things is as well as landowners and all that stuff, and that we've had a very good response from landowners in that case. So they're aware of our long-term intentions of drilling at some stage. So it's been very positive.
And so as far as Lolworth, Adam, what are the upcoming milestones?
News that I'm looking forward to and is just seeing if there's any gold in some of these discrete outcrops we've just recently found. We've just only done rock chips, and also one of the significant developments for me or for everybody really, is to actually see how this trenching work goes and what would that uncover. So, we already have one area there at Gorge Creek West where there's essentially a blob of sediment there. It's got a bit of stockwork quartz coming through it, and from our rock chip sampling last year, a lot of it's been low grade, but it's been 1 to 3 grams consistently across the whole lot. So, we're seeing small things like that pop up now, and and so the next necessary step is to trench it and have a better picture of what it looks like in the ground, and who knows, it might blow out to something bigger or whatever, but this is the sort of things we're looking at, and that's the sort of news that will be coming out in the next few weeks.
And a bit earlier, Adam, you mentioned Blue Mountain, a successful maiden campaign there. We must be expecting some news out of that project shortly.
We've just been informed by the laboratory that we'll start, we'll be expecting the initial results for our concentrates from the wash plant, from our evaluation recently at Blue Mountain. So what we've done is we sent off, I think it was about 6 to 9 samples, concentrate samples from the wash box from our trommel setup. And what the intention is to see if the results from the previous explorers are matching up or better. So anyway, so we're expecting those results anytime soon.
And any indication as to how those results might come back?
The exciting thing is if it's all positive, if it's all comes out positive, then the next step we're going to be looking at is just looking at some basic metallurgical tests on it. And what that's going to do is that's going to really put us into the situation of going, what is actually economically feasible to extract from this project? And that's a really important step for going forward to, before we do any or plan any necessary follow-up exploration in the near future. So, yeah.
Good to speak, Adam. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Andrew.